Hudur, I have the same feeling that maybe some other people couldn't follow
please,
this.
Yes.
And,
do repeat the question.
Yes, the Hudur, you mentioned that at the time of the promised Messiah, these ulama used or quoted two verses to show that Jesus was alive, is still alive.
Right.
ما قتلوه وما صلبوه. ولكن the answer is that this is not true, because there is nothing in this verse which shows that he is alive. If they fail to kill him, that does not mean that he is still alive. Right. This is finished.
Yes, but
the other one is وَإِن مِّنْ أَهْلِ الْكِتَابِ إِلَّا لَيُؤْمِنَنَّ بِهِ قَبْلَ مَوْتِهِ. And also Hudur said that this is not a proof that he is still alive, because if these people, if we take it that each and every one of Ahlul Kitab will believe in him, that means they have to live and until he comes back and believe in him. And this nun thaqila means that it is in future, but it cannot affect the meaning that Ahlul Kitab have to live until they believe in him.
I explain that.
Yes.
I said that these ulama emphasized the presence of Nun Sakhila, indicating that this event is in future, and till that future Masih would live, and before his death all the Ahl Kitab would have believed in him. This is their inference. I have tackled this verse from different points, but on this point I want to make things clearer.
Yes.
Now when they say Nun Sakhila applies to the future, then what is this verse talking about? Who was existing at the time when at the time to which the verse is referring? Jesus Christ existed at that. Is that right or wrong?
When he was...
The verse is talking of the time.
Oh, yes. Yes.
The verse is talking
Yes.
of the time.
No.
When definitely Jesus was alive, we all agree on that.
Yes.
And the Ahl Kitab must be of that age, who also shared the time with him.
No.
You see?
No.
So Nun Sakhila cannot push these Ahl Kitab, leave that Ahl Kitab alone, and shift to some other Ahl Kitab who would be born in the future. If this is the meaning of Nun Sakhila, then Jesus also could not be included in this verse, because he is referred to as in the past.
Yes, yes.
You understand the
Yes,
point?
this is totally...
Nun Sakhila must treat both mentioned in the verse equally. If Nun Sakhila means that the people who are mentioned are not yet born, but they will be born in the future, then how could Jesus escape this verdict of Nun Sakhila? It obviously speaks of the people of his time. There is no other possibility. Nun Sakhila does not mean that the people being mentioned will be born later on. It only means that the act attributed to them will occur later on. A future with reference to the time of Jesus Christ.
Yes.
So in that regard, Hadhrat Masih alayhi salatu wasalam was live at the time of that period of crucifixion, the period in question, and all the Ahl Kitab of that time also shared that period with him. Now the Holy Quran says that Ahl Kitab, Al-Ahl Kitab, according to them, will definitely believe in him before his death, as they translate it. While none of those Ahl Kitab were given even a chance to believe in him. So knowing that even up till now, the Ahl Kitab have not done so, they attribute this meaning to the Quran, which the Quran does not have any room for. It doesn't accommodate for that. They say that this means that Ahl Kitab would be born in the future, who before his death, will all together, all of them, believe in Jesus Christ. This is so absurd, because the Arabic does not permit this strange meaning, which is so, alien to the style of the Holy Quran and the style of Arabic. If, for instance, here, we are all together here, and I say, or somebody says about me, that he will not walk out of this room until all those who are here, they have done something. They have participated in the Arabic class, they have asked questions, anything. And somebody says, it means that some other people will be born, not you, who would do this until before I have left. This is absurd. It's impossible. So the Ahle Kitab must be of the period of Jesus Christ. The act of their faith is the act belonging to the future. That is why Nun Sakhila is mentioned with regard to their believing in him, not in other regards. And with that I built the scenario further and said, as I understand it, and there is no logical or any other objection against it, this is exactly, if we take it that the word he refers to Jesus Christ, suppose this is true, then the meaning would be that min fariqin min ahlil kitabe illa la yu'minanna bihi, or in fariqun min ahlil kitabe illa la yu'minanna bihi qabla mawtihi. So that is true. That is exactly what happened, and that is what tallies exactly with Jesus' prophecy himself. He said, I leave you and go to the lost sheep of the house of Israel. Because his mission could not be complete without delivering the message to them. And God promised that he would keep him alive until the time that he had delivered the message to all these Ahl Kitab, and a portion thereof, like it always happens, has believed in him. So the entire 12 houses of Israel and the entire 72 sects of Israel have their share in his belief. So when you say in Ahadun is missing word, then it becomes an impossible thing. You cannot prove it, and the Holy Quran is proved to be wrong. What I am suggesting is, proves beyond a shadow of doubt that the Holy Quran is right. See? Now you understand?
Yes,
no.
yes. Yes.
The proof is that if you, as you said, look at the siyaq sabaq of this, the issue being discussed is that the Ahl Kitab of his time rejected him and differed with each other regarding the ultimate fate of Jesus Christ. Whether he died upon cross or disappeared, whether he remained here or migrated, these were all the issues of discussion.
Yes.
Now, these are the people to whom it should be proved that the deliverance of Jesus Christ from the cross will be witnessed by you during his lifetime. And during his lifetime, all the people of Israel, not only you here, but all the people of the house of Israel will have their share in faith of Jesus Christ. So he will be given support, not by these two tribes, but by all the tribes. Now this is obvious meaning, because the people of his time rejected him. If the sign is shown to some remote people who have nothing to do with this controversy, then what purpose is served? For 2000 years he is considered to be a false man, a false prophet, a false claimant, and Ahl Kitab generation after generation die in rejecting him. So if a future remote generation believes in him, what benefit can those earlier people draw from that? While the fact is that his deliverance from the cross was witnessed by his followers, and it was being debated there, and they saw him alive with the same wounds. So the Holy Quran is true, absolutely right, that it says that he will not die before you will see the signs of his true and of his great truth and greatness. And it was this deliverance from the cross which played the major role in a large number of the Jews believing in him. Before that, the rate of conversion was just a trickle, a small, less than a trickle. Less than 30 people believed in him. What happened after the deliverance, after the crucifixion? Absolutely a revolutionary movement is seen. Large number of Jews and non-Jews, Gentiles start believing in him. This is the meaning of this verse, that you will see a revolution take place. Before his death, all right. But all the tribes would bear witness to it that he is a prophet of God. And that is exactly what happened if you accept the Ahmadiyya view that he migrated to Kashmir in pursuit of these tribes, and with the grace of Allah, that promise was fulfilled in his favor. The contrary is impossible. Anyway, because the Holy Quran says, नहीं वो जो है अच्छा इन्नी मुतवफ़ीका व राफ़िउका इलैया व मुताहिरुका मिनल लज़ीना कफ़रू व जाइलुल लज़ीना तबऊका फ़ौक़ल लज़ीना कफ़रू इला यौमिल क़यामा. Unless those who continue to disbelieve in him live up to the time of doomsday, this verse cannot be true. So this verse would stand between their meaning and this verse. It would never permit any mullah to cross over this borderline. You understand?
Yes, sir.
Now the best interpretation of the Quran is the one supported by the Quran itself. That I have done already. The second, it should be supported by human experience and history itself. The Holy Quran refers to history very often to prove its point. Now I come to the historical evidence that what I am interpreting is absolutely correct, and this is what happened. If he migrated to those areas of the east where earlier the 10 tribes of Israelites had found shelter, they had run away from the oppression of the Babylonic governments, etc., we must find their trace. We must trace their history and found if really people like Israelites are found in those areas or not. Now, I'm not talking of Ahmadi research, I'm talking of the Ahle Kitab's research. They are now agreed on this point that the people which inhabit Afghanistan and Kashmir do not belong to those areas in part of Asia, but they have a different ethnic group, they form a different ethnic category, and their features, their nomenclature, their style of life, their complexions are like Israelites. Still anybody can witness it. Look at the Indians. Other Indians, Punjabis, everywhere. And look at the Kashmiris. Look at the other Indians and then look at the Afghans. How different they are. And their nomenclature is so different. And they have names of their tribes. Musai, Soleimani, and other, what other names you find? The places of the country are named after the Israelite prophets. Kohe Suleiman and Jabal Dawood and things like that, you know. So all the nomenclature of their tribes is reminiscent of the Israelites. The nomenclature of the area and the important places and sites is also reminiscent of the Israelites. One such scholar who worked on this issue made a very interesting observation. He said, if you read your Bible well, if you have in your mind the picture of the times when Israelite women at the time of Pharaoh used to go to the Nile for getting water and this and that, and have that picture fixed in your mind, and then suddenly open your eyes by the lake Dal in Kashmir, and you will see exactly the same picture repeated there. The same attire, the same style, the same features. So he said, what better proof do you require that they are the same people belonging to the same stock? This is the Western scholar's opinion. But now I leave this and take you back to history further back. What time, in what age did Jesus Christ disappear? He disappeared from the sight of the people there, but he was seen moving away by his followers. Some of the Ahl Kitab still stand witness that we saw him alive after crucifixion, bearing the same wounds. And he was moving away, migrating from that area, quietly and secretly. All prophets of Allah do this. However brave they may be before migration, but when they begin to migrate, they do it quietly, like Muhammad Rasulullah did, like Moses did. So did Jesus. He hid himself, appeared only to his own followers here and there, and then disappeared. Where did he go? Does history bear any testimony to his being seen elsewhere? We say he went to Kashmir because that is the ultimate place where the Israelites had gone. And now we look at the history, Indian history. There is a book by the name of Puranas. Puranas possesses the annals of Indian history. Now turning to Kashmir, there is one Purana which mentions a very interesting incident. It still is found in that book. The reference, he'll bring the full reference to that. It says that there was a Raja of Kashmir by the name of Shalban. Now we know, and all the historians agree, that he was a contemporary of Jesus Christ, peace be upon him. Once he was out on a hunting expedition when suddenly observed some good-looking noble foreigners entering that valley where he was shooting and hunting. So he was amazed at the presence of these foreigners. He approached them, and the leader, the central figure among them, answered his queries. He said, "Who are you?" He said, "I am a prophet of God." "What is your name?" "My name is Masih." "What brought you here?" He said, "Because my people treated me so cruelly that unless God had saved me miraculously, there was no chance of my escaping. After that, it was impossible for me to remain there, and I have migrated to this country." Who was that prophet of God? Search far and wide, scan the whole world. This does not apply to any person other than Jesus Christ. Name Mashihu, and he said, "What is your religion?" He said, "Love." It takes a very blind man not to see the point. You see? So obvious. Unless someone is, stamped by God and he can't see, you should see. That is one evidence of history in favor of this interpretation of the Holy Quran which I have just mentioned. وَإِن مِّنْ أَهْلِ الْكِتَابِ إِلَّا لَيُؤْمِنَنَّ بِهِ قَبْلَ مَوْتِهِ وَيَكُونُ عَلَيْهِمْ يَوْمَ الْقِيَامَةِ يكون عليهم شهيدا. ويوم القيامة يكون عليهم شهيدا. Now, if he had been, if they had believed in him here on earth, he would become a shaheed on them here, not Yawm al-Qiyamah. And the people who needed a witness were the people of his time. They're talking of some different people, but leave that alone. I'm coming to the historical evidence. The second evidence, if he passed through Afghanistan, there should be some evidence there. Why just Kashmir? He didn't hide himself during his journey from Afghanistan because there was no danger to him there. Now, a book has been published by Oxford University Press under the title Among the Dervishes. It's a very fascinating book to read because one of the scholars of Oxford University was sent on a mission to carry out research among the old Dervish tribes. You know the Dervish, you know the word Dervish, the Sufi-like people who believe in mythical understanding of things or cryptic understanding of things. So they are Dervishes. Sometimes they dance, sometimes they sing, and they think this is worship. So he was sent to Afghanistan to carry out a research among the Dervishes because in that area of Herat where he was sent, there were known to be many tribes or sects of Dervishes. Now he returned home afterwards and published a book pertaining to his research under the title Among the Dervishes. Now there he mentions that while I was inquiring about the various types of dervishes, I was amazed to find one sect of dervishes known as Musavi. Musavi Musas. And I inquired about their faith, religion, what they believe in. They said, we are in fact Christian Muslims. I said, what do you mean, Christian Muslims? They don't go together. He said, you don't know. Come on, let's introduce you to our Lord, who was Abba Yahya. So he was a tribal chief. They took him to Abba Yahya. This is what he writes himself. He doesn't know any Ahmadiyyat, anything. Only a fresh scholar from Oxford goes to Herat, doesn't know anything about Ahmadiyyat, and this is his account, which is against his own faith, in fact. So it has to be accepted. He says, I met him, and Abba Yahya, the leader, he told me a fascinating story. I can't believe it, but this is what he told me. He said that, do look here, you call yourself Christians, but you're wrong. You're not real Christians. You don't know what actually happened to Jesus Christ. We tell you that he was delivered alive from the cross. And you think he died upon cross and got up again? It's totally false. He never died in the first instance. He migrated from there. While on way to Kashmir, this is what written in that book. While on way to Kashmir, he also preached us because we also belong to the Israelite tribes. And because he preached us unity of God and never even once mentioned that he was little son of God, so we remain Unitarians and we believed in one God. And his message prepared us for accepting Islam. So the first benefactor to whom we owe so much was Jesus himself. When the message of Islam came, then it was no problem for us because already we had been trained for accepting the ultimate truth brought by Hadhrat Muhammad Rasulullah. And then he added from his own. You know what we call our Master Jesus Christ? You know? He said we call him Jesus of Nazareth and Kashmir. Jesus Nasar, you see, of Nazareth, the place where he was born, Nasra. So we said we call him Masih Nasri Kashmiri. So why Nasri Kashmiri? He was born in Nasra and died in Kashmir. This book is available for anyone to read. This is what I mean by historical evidence. So the verse of the Quran is translated, it is supported by other verses, supported by the claim of Jesus himself that he would go in search of the lost tribe of Israelites, and the historical evidence appearing from Hindu and Christian literature. What else do you want? Right? So they say you went to heaven, fourth heaven. He used to say that. But they have now even abandoned that view. He is neither here nor there. At least to prove he is here on earth, they first of all pushed him to heaven and destroyed him there. Nowhere. Jesus Christ, honestly, he suffered so much at their hands. First they gave him hope to live longer. He would live in the heaven 2,000 more years, then he would descend, and then all these people will believe in him. God said, no, that was a misunderstanding. He is not in heaven anyway. He will not descend. And he is not in Kashmir either, not in Palestine. Where he disappeared. He melted into thin air. Strange views these mullahs have.